Hi, I'm Parker Miley,
And I'm Tim Benjamin.
and this is the Rage Podcast, where today we're going to give you real news from a real perspective.
Not that that's any different than usual. Yeah.
But today we go and here at our headquarters we have a long list of staff people that fight hard to give us genuine news stories and everything like that, and that is me, myself, and I on my computer. And
I'm not familiar with all these people we're paying, so yes.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah.
He was just a couple seconds ago. He was missing his checkbook, so now he knows
right.
why.
So, Parker stole my checkbook, so yeah.
But no, I found on a news source an interesting story about something happening in China with a Catholic cardinal. All right, so not just any Catholic priest or bishop or anything. It's a Catholic cardinal, and
he's 90 years old.
90 years old, yeah. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
But he has actually been arrested recently for some odd. Again, we're coming at it from a perspective here in American culture, but coming at the.
Say his name.
What is his name?
Joseph Zen.
Joseph Zen.
Joseph Zen.
Joseph Zen, and he's been arrested for being a Catholic influence in China. And being a person who has spoken, as I was reading the article, who's spoken out vocally about the importance and significance and value of democracy. And if you know China,
don't go over.
That doesn't fly.
Yeah. So what he's specifically been arrested for was he was on the board of a charity, a pro-democracy charity, that China found some reason why that was illegal to have it. I don't know what the specifics was, but it wasn't allowed to happen, and so they went out and arrested. I have to say this again, a 90-year-old priest for his involvement in this charity. Yeah, I don't know. Do we even need to explain why this is bad? I mean, come on, guys.
I went to this article because it caught my eye because it's something I haven't heard in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Normally, what I hear is, Martha's Vineyard is covered with immigrants now, or
covered. The army took care of that.
Yeah, or just the stupid nonsense we have going on here, and I feel like I have actually brought my eyes really far away from the global news and perspective and everything, and I saw this and I was like, well, that's very interesting. And as I put the other person here, staff person here at headquarters, on a pursuit of finding more information, he did.
Yeah. I just typed his name into Google because that's the kind of hardcore research we do around here. I put his name in Google, and the first article that came up was from Fox News, which is one Parker initially shared with me. The second one was a Wikipedia entry, was just who he is, the Wikipedia entry on everybody. And then everything else for the next 2 pages, which is like 25 articles, were all, actually one of them was Amazon because he apparently had written a book at some point, so I could have gotten his book. That was on page 2 of the results. Everything else was Catholic, the Catholic Today, Catholicism, SatanNations.com, all these different websites that are all Catholic, which, again, I understand why they're writing about it. It makes perfect sense. No ABC, no NBC, no CNN, no nothing. It was one article written by a local Fox affiliate that Parker picked up on and sent to me. That's it. We're not talking about this at all. And again, I understand there are more important things, like 50 migrants in Martha's Vineyard. Oh my gosh. But it seems to me like this is a very interesting question in that this is a question of religious freedom is what they said. Now, let's not make any illusions. We know there's no religious freedom in China, okay? Mm-hmm. We know that, and there hasn't been in my lifetime at least. So, but I feel like the fact that they have arrested, again, I have to keep saying this, a 90-year-old priest.
Yeah. Literally
probably the most harmless person you can think of, and right in the charge, pro-democracy work. That is a problem, friends. That should not happen. And he was working at a charity to raise money. Again, he wasn't telling people to go throw things and go be violent. Mm-hmm. He was raising money to help people who had been arrested in a protesting thing that happened way back in 2019. And it just so happens the thing that those people who were arrested in 2019, what they were convicted of is they were protesting against an extradition agreement with China that these folks were going to be a part of. So it was an extradition thing. It was basically the relationship to the the communist regime? Are we going to give prisoners and political refugees back to them? And so the people in 2019 said, no, we're not going to do that. And so they were arrested because, of course, they were. And then so they ended up in jail. So in order to help get bail for them or to help them in their legal defense or whatever, this charity formed. This charity operated for 14 months. And then it closed up because apparently they'd accomplished or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then all the people who are involved in the charity now were arrested, including this Cardinal Zen, and ended up in jail. And he's on trial. He was originally going to be on trial next week, but the judge in the case, because apparently there's a specific judge they have to have. I'm sure there's no agenda there. Came down with COVID, so they had to push it back. I read that too. So again. First of all, let's be very serious. Please pray for the situation. Yeah. This needs to go the right way, and this is ridiculous. And there needs to be a worldwide outcry. And I know the Rage Podcast doesn't have near the reach to pull something like that off, but somebody's got to be talking about this. And 90-year-olds who work for a charity should not be arrested unless the charity is, throw babies out of balconies or something. You cannot. That cannot happen. And this man is, again, I don't know nothing about him. He may be a complete creep for all I know. But Cardinal Zen, a 90-year-old priest, a man who dedicated his life to being a part of building the church and doing good things. Service to others and all these different things that Catholic priests do. And now he's or at least arrested. He was held on bail, so he wasn't actually in jail. But now he's going on trial at 90 years old.
Yeah, now he's spending his 90s locked up.
Yeah, guys, this is wrong. And I know the Chinese government could give absolutely no cares whatsoever to what a couple of Americans in St. Mary's, Ohio had to say. But we want you to know that this is persecution, and this should be, I don't know about the leading story on earth, but it needs to be more than just the Catholic news sources that it's coming from.
Yeah. Because I feel like we, here in America, we have gotten so absorbed into our own
leisure,
brought on chaos. Yeah. However, I mean that's what it is. Yeah. Brought on chaos. We're entertaining ourselves now with politics.
That is exactly what we're doing. Yeah. Yes.
But and so we're forgetting about. There's still a lot of people out there in a lot of regions in the world that are just completely
who have bigger problems than a bunch of migrants taken to the most lush location on earth.
Yeah. A lot bigger problems out there, and I feel like that's what we're all kind of we have to recognize that we all have ties with one another, believe it or not. We are human.
Part of the body of Christ.
We're all humans. We're all part of the body of Christ. We're all, we all live and reside here on planet Earth, whether we don't always see it that way or not.
Yeah.
And it is sad when you really think about it, how the problems we're facing over here are just so absolutely stupid compared to what some people are actually having to face in their day-to-day lives, such as a 90-year-old Catholic cardinal being arrested for helping run a charity.
A charity, yeah. And I mean, this becomes even more poignant when you realize that not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday is World Communion Sunday. These are sisters and brothers in Christ with us from all over the world. And we need to join together to pray for each other. I know a lot of these situations, look, if I could go help Cardinal Zen, I would. I don't know what I would do, but the idea is that we need to be, at the very, very least, praying for our sisters and brothers all over the earth. Because just like Parker said, and I couldn't possibly agree more, there are people who have real problems out there. And look, I know our economy's bad, and we're all mad at the politicians from all sides. Yeah, I get that. But we also are going to go home. Most of us are going to go home to a nice place. And,
to a home that has running water.
Yeah, and a full refrigerator.
Full refrigerator, roof over our heads, good health.
And here we got a guy who was helping a bunch of people protest an illegal extradition agreement with a communist government. 90 years old, I got to keep saying that. Working in this charity, trying to help these people, trying to make a real difference in a just a terrible situation. And through the political powers that be, the guy's now arrested and he's going to be standing trial here, I'm assuming. Soon,
within some time. Yeah. Within the month, I think, what the article was saying. Now that whatever COVID, still is.
Yeah. And apparently China only has one judge, I guess. I don't know.
One judge in China.
The one judge in China is sick.
Sick with COVID.
So I guess there's not much justice going on over there now. So, What a joke. But yeah, so I guess our encouragement today is you'll hear about a lot of these kind of situations where we read this, and again, pick your thing. You could do a quick Google search and find all kind of hopeless situations going on out there. But don't become callous to that.
Yeah.
Don't become that guy. Well, maybe he should have just been retired instead of trying to help. That's not it. That's not how he should have been. That man was exactly where he should have been. And we want you all to pray for these folks who are putting themselves in harm's way.
Putting themselves in the harm's way in the pursuit of serving others.
Right. A Catholic priest in a prison, that's a dangerous place for him to be.
A Catholic priest in a China prison,
correct.
Especially is
correct.
A
even
very,
more so. Exactly.
Very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, and if he ends up there, God help him, I guess. But so please pray for these situations. Parker and I are going to be praying for these situations, and because there are people out there who are doing their best in a situation that they found themselves in. That, of course, clearly not happy about. Trying to make a positive difference, trying to help the people who are doing what they need to be doing, and just suffering for it. And that they need to know that the powers that be in the world, including the Rage podcast, one of the biggest podcasts on the internet, our heart goes out to that guy. So Cardinal Zen, I'm sure you're never going to see this, but we appreciate what you've done, and we certainly hear your plight, and we'll be praying for you for what it's worth. So
yeah, I think what I really took away from reading that article and kind of our discussion today was we still got to recognize we live on a planet, not just here in the U.S. And there's several people like us that have beating hearts and thinking minds that are not able to live in the same luxuries as we are. And
in fact, more people than not, in the most part.
Yeah, and it's sad how we've gotten so absorbed here with our own stupid problems compared to facing the actual problems the serious, more intense, I think, problems that people all around the world that we live on are facing. Yeah,
and you got somebody like this gentleman, who again could have went into retirement and lived in a decent place as would have been available to him. Could have had an easy life, done some prayers and led some services and done some things. But he decided there are certain causes out there worth fighting for, and he did. Yeah. And our hats off to him. But because he chose to run toward the problem rather than run away from it. And I think a lot of people may look at him as like, well, he made a terrible decision. He should have just taken the easy course, taken the road that everybody else is traveling, and he didn't. And that we need more people like that who are willing to make a stand against things that are wrong, against evil regimes and evil leaderships and evil situations in the world. Because it's people like him who are going to end up making the positive change, and I don't know. I hope at 90 years old I'm still kicking and screaming like that. Yeah. I'd love that, because I got just to have enough spunk and enough just enough gristle to be able to do something like that at 90 years old. Really got a lot of respect for that. The man clearly has deep convictions that he is not doing because he's getting paid to. He's doing them because they're right, and. And the Protestants and the Catholics may not have always gotten along, but I tell you what, he's one guy I got a lot of respect for. So, yeah.
Yep.
So our encouragement for you here today is to pray for these situations as you hear about them. That's not a I don't know what else to do, so I guess we'll pray. That's not what we're saying. It's an idea that prayer does change things. Prayer does get involved. If nothing more, it changes the person doing the praying. And makes you more aware of what's going around you. And we don't want you to miss that opportunity. So whether it be a Cardinal Zen or anybody else from around the world who needs your prayers, or maybe somebody locally or somebody who needs your prayers, make sure you're saying them, because it's not a cop-out. And if there is something you can do, you should go do it. But, sometimes prayer is what we got, and this situation is one of them. So let's lift him up in our prayers early and often. And hopefully, if we are able to find something else about him, because there's not much being written, we'll certainly do an update on a future broadcast. So, thanks for joining us. Remember, prayer is available, and that's what we do. Have a great day, everybody.